You guys, this is Tired Goth, and you are tuned into the Academia Gothica malware show. You are reading malware with me. Sorry, I just fucked up my intro. I don't really care though. Yeah, so we're going to talk about something that is actually pertinent to the malware scene. We're going to talk about acting, right? We're going to talk about how to identify a threat actor, what they might be employing in the way of malware, how they might appear. There's going to be a couple of things that you want to pay attention to when it comes to the acting side of this. It actually has very little to do with technology and the malware itself, but rather the delivery, right? What you're going to want to pay attention to is how these actors typically behave, what they usually have in common, the type of stealth tactics they use, the types of introductions they use, the types of things that will garner a certain type of tell, right, that you can pick up on as someone who would be identifying these things. So what we want to talk about here is a threat actor of any kind, whether they're delivering malware or not, that's how true it is going to have a certain type of carriage about themselves. They're going to give away very little about themselves. They're going to speak very little about themselves. They're going to speak very little or give away in their body language very little about what their true intentions are. They're going to be a little obsessive about the task at hand, but to the extent of not giving away anything aside from their focus on the task. It's going to show itself sort of like a person who's extremely objective, but not outwardly. They're going to do things to allude to the fact that everything they're doing is focused on the simple point of getting from point A to point B, whatever it is that they have planned for themselves. They might cooperate with you. They might be very submissive to you. They might do things that are very telling that they're willing to cooperate with you because their end game is to gain your trust in order to bypass it for something. Another thing that you want to pay attention to when you're dealing with actors is they're going to hide in plain sight. They're not going to give away what their task actually is because their whole point is to just get it done. So, for example, if their tactic is to gain your trust in order to subvert you later, what they might do is befriend you, get you into a situation where you are comfortable exchanging information with them, and then they will, act on whatever trust they are then granted. It's a permissions kind of thing with them. Another thing you want to pay attention to with actors is they work often in groups. They work often in communication in groups, but in a scattered way. So you'll have sort of like a net of people that are like in the general vicinity communicating with each other that will be able to facilitate certain tasks being done because there's always a watchful eye somewhere doing something to assure that this is victorious for the person who is doing the threat acting. In another scenario, you may encounter someone who works solo, but is very cooperative, very, enticing, very attractive, right? You're going to deal with someone who may dress a certain way, may entice a certain way, may attract you to what it is that they're doing, may distract you with this. They may purposefully do things to bring attention to they themselves so that you are very flustered and distracted from what it is you were originally doing. You're not focusing so much on the fact that a threat could be around and so on and so forth. These are the types of things that you want to pay attention to with threat actors. And I say this because these very same threat actors who distract you, who pull you away from your original course of action, your original tasks and everything else, are actually there to do so in order to get you to forget about your focus point, your focal goal, right? And this is something that is very useful to a threat actor to be able to do, to have that kind of attention placed on them instead of what you were originally trying to do, because this lack of attention to your task at hand gives them an opening. In a strategic sense, you are dealing with someone who is literally just trying to pull you away from what it is you are meant to be doing with the time that you have, with the effort and the energy that you have for your dedicated task. So it's something that you want to pay attention to if you are dealing with situations that have to do with security, privacy, and things that otherwise, even if it's not an official position that way, to secure yourself in your dealings. It could be your business deals, it could be your business tactics, your work, whatever it is. whatever the case may be, this is something that if you are protecting it, your distraction is going to try to pull you away from it or otherwise put themselves into the picture where you did not invite them to be. It's a tell that you can carry through every single circumstance that you would be dealing with. For example, if someone is trying to take over your business, this is a tactic they might use. They might show up frequently. They might show up every day to try to distract you. They might work with other people to create these distractions to assure that you can't get your work done. It could be a woman trying to seduce you. It could be a man trying to seduce you. It could be someone trying to offer you a business deal that they know would go flat and would take you with it. There are a number of ways that this could actually be implemented, but the tells are always the same. You're going to be dealing with people who have no regard for your time, basically. So, if that helps you, then I assure you that is something that you can apply to just about every context. And you'll notice that the more you resist it, the more aggressive these people also become. So this is something that you want to pay attention to, because this is another tell that this is something set up to cause you disruption and not something meant to help you. It's not an accidental miscommunication. It's not anything of the sort. It's actually something plotted to assure that you don't meet your goals. So this has been Tired Goth. I hope that my threat assessment here has helped you. If you like how I present my work or how I present my assessment of what it is that I have recognized as threats or threat modeling in general, you can send me a tip. You can purchase a merch item. You can like, share, and subscribe my videos. There are a number of ways you can support me. You can also learn all of the threat intel that I have to offer you by booking a class with me, and I would love to hear from you. So check all the information in the description for this video and the other videos as well. If they're not in one video, they will be in another one, so just scroll and have fun, and check out the shorts as well that I've put together. There are plenty of those. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye.